See, it's always pulling on the primary force, which is the absolute. So most people, they don't get into that. They don't get that deep and understand. But if you're going to manipulate, I think if you're going to manipulate energies, then you should have a knowledge of that energy, So that's what, I go and I try to teach that mystic side of it. When you look at the chakras, let's look at the chakras. Everybody look at the chakras as being what?
Energy.
It's being an energy, right? An energy within where?
In the body.
Within the body, right? But really, it's really not. See, the chakras is actually a realm, right? It's a realm of existence. Each chakra is actually a realm of existence, a frequency of energy, of an energy level, which creates a realm of existence. If we list, and then a chakra also is what? It produces the bindu, or there's a bindu within the chakra. Why? Everybody know what a bindu is?
All knowledge space.
Huh? It's an all knowledge space.
Spiritual germ.
It's a spiritual germ, right? That's the Hindu translation of it. But the Hindu translation goes further in Tantra, because it says it's a what? It's a compaction of what?
Of all power.
Of Shakti. Right? So you have a chakra which produce a particular realm, right? In fact, not on a particular realm, but realms of existence. When you go back to the Tantra teachings, you'll see that the sun releases 360 Tava rays, or I like to call it Tavic rays. Right? You ever heard of Tavic rays? Well, Tavic rays is said Tava, but I always say Tavic because it sounds better. Right? You have 360 Tavic rays that comes from the sun, and they blanket the earth. They blanket all the planets. Okay, now, these Tavic rays produce a realm of existence. Each one of these Tavic rays represents a realm of existence. Now, when you get into the deep teachings of Tantra, and you have to begin to move the power of Kundalini, what you have to do, you have to unravel the Nadi knot at the base of the spine. And when you unravel the Nadi knot at the base of the spine, that the base of the spine is actually designed to block Shushumna. You know what Shushumna is, right? All right, Shushumna is that little tiny canal where Kundalini flows up in order for you to have a meditative state, a deep meditative state, not the basic meditative state, but a deep meditative state, the meditative state that Paramahansa talked about when he witnessed his master go into samadhi, where his master had no breath, the heart was not beating, and he glowed to a certain degree. And because why? He had tucked all the energy in his body and brought it down to the base of the spine and pushed that energy up Shushumna, right? Bringing about this great meditative state where he became a cosmic conscious, in a cosmic conscious state, where his mind felt the whole earth. He can feel everything around him. Now, this at the base of the spine, you have the base chakra, which is the chakra that brings about consciousness, that we can communicate to each other. It brings about self-consciousness. That there's Shushumna, which is at there, which goes up all the way to the Christ center or the third eye. It terminates there at the third eye. The third eye, of course, is the commanding center. Now, this chakra blocks this door, right, in order to bring about basic consciousness. Other than that, we will have this all awareness, okay? So our job is to unravel the Nadi knots, and the only way we can do that is pulling all the energy out of the nadis and concentrate it down at the base of the spine, unravel that, and then we push the energy up through the spine, and we allow the soul to be bathed in the light of the spirit. And that's true meditation. That's true samadhi. That's the road to cosmic consciousness. So this is what that is. Now, at the sex center, between the sex center and the base of the spine, you have 118 Tavic rays between the two of them. Now, the great yogis said that in order to move Kundalini from here to here, you must conquer 118 worlds. Because we have to gain control over 118 realms of existence in order to move from here to here. Okay, and you develop clairvoyant powers when you move from here to here. Okay, although right now the sex center is more of a subconscious part of your mental body. Okay? If you notice, the energy that flows through the sex center is called Vyana. It's the Vyana prana. The Vyana prana is that prana that travels throughout the entire body. It's also the center for water. And we know that 70% of the body is water, right? So it is here that energy, in fact, even in the cosmic Mahabhutas, right? Everybody know what a Mahabhutas is, right? It's the cosmic elements. In Tantra yoga, they give us the cosmic elements, and the cosmic elements is apas, which means liquid energy, etheric liquid energy, okay? So it is through this liquid energy that it flows throughout the entire body, right? In order to do what? If we stop drinking water, what happens to us? We die in what? In about what? 3 days?
3 or 4 days.
3 or 4 days, we die. So what does water do? Water sustains what? Consciousness, mind and body, right? Because your body is made up of 70-some% water, and you cannot hold cognitive consciousness without drinking water. Well, the energy behind that actually comes from the sex center, okay? So that's ancient teachings. When you go back, you'll see these ancient Sanskrit words, and you'll see what they mean, and you'll see that that's what they're talking about. Now, also, it sustains consciousness, right? It sustains consciousness within the body. And it also preserves consciousness body. It sets almost a timetable on your life, okay? And we know that because it's also the what? is also the instrument to bring life into the world, right? Because it's through our sex organs that we produce a life or creates the portal to produce the life on this physical plane. So it's a very important chakra. In fact, that's why the yogis, the Hindus, the Buddhists, they said that women are what? Are more psychic than men. And they're more advanced than men too. You know, because you won't, if a woman rules the world, you won't see the war that we see for the last, what, couple thousand years. You won't see any war the way it is now. Okay? So this is very important to understand. Also, you have the solar plexus center, and at that center, you have Samanta prana, which is a conjunction point for all the pranas. You have 5 major pranas within the body, okay? And in fact, pull up the, let's see if I can pull up that slide, what it's called. Pull up this slide right here.
This one?
No. Yeah. If you'll notice here, this is the absolute. It's just a diagram, but just to show you. This is the absolute, and this is the endless potential, unmanifested, right? And all of this listed under Shiva is the modifications of Shakti, of the great Shakti power. You have Vak, which is the initial sound that all the Bibles talk about. You know, in the beginning, God spoke the word. You know, that's in the Holy Bible, it's in the Torah, it's in the Buddhist Bible, it's in the Hindu Bible.
Is that like the Auric?
Well, don't say OM or AUM. You're not supposed to repeat the mantra openly. But it's like the AUM, yes. It's like the AUM. The Vak is that aspect of the AUM that creates. Because all sound is a part of the AUM. Okay, all sound is part. When you study the AUM, you'll notice that the full length of the tongue is used in order to produce the sound. You have to curl the tongue all the way back in the mouth to the root, and you start with the A, the sound of the A. You bring it up to the middle with the U, and you finish with the M with the tongue straight. So you use the full length of the tongue. That's the proper way to say the AUM. Okay, so all sound comes with that. The Vak is that aspect that initialized creation, okay? So then after that, you have, from the Vak, you have Nata. Nata is supreme sound. It's still an aspect of the AUM. It's a creative sound, and when we say Nata, we say Shakti, because with Nata, Shakti is there. They cannot separate, okay? Because Shakti is the aspect of Nata, Nata is the aspect of Shakti. Okay, so because Nata, which is Vak, is the thing that opened the door for Shakti, in other words. Then you have Shakti, the great absolute power, and it flows out to form the universe. Okay? Now, when the Shakti goes out to form the universe, it creates 4 principles. Nani, which is wisdom, right? Chitta, which is universal mind, and prana, which is this all-pervasive prana that everyone uses, right? And then Adana, which is bliss or love. It's a preservational. You have Nani, which sets the knowledge and the law in which everything will fall under. Because everything has to fall under a framework of karma in the universe. You cannot go outside of karma. Karma is law, which is action, which is God. Okay? The law of karma is God. And God has supreme wisdom, right? So first comes Nani, then this universal mind is there because mind does what? What does mind does to energy? Mind, mold, and shape energy. Anything we want to bring in this world right now, we have to first do what? We have to think about it. And we have to discover the laws that make that material or substance mold and shape and move in a certain direction. Other than that, if we don't follow a principal law, whatever we want to bring into being cannot come into being. It has to form. It has to conduct itself under the law. All right? Now the scientists call it the laws of thermodynamics, right? You know, so they have all these laws, which is nothing but the law of karma that was written down in ancient time. Okay? In fact, one of the laws that they have is action and reaction is opposite but equal, right? Buddha said that. Yeah, that's Buddha said that thousands of years ago. That was a statement from Buddha. And Jesus said it too, 2,000 years ago, right? And when you go back to the days of Moses, you see Moses said it as well. So it's nothing new. It's been around forever. So after the principles, which is like the karmic signatures of the universe, right, that everything must fall under, because you have the law, which is supreme knowledge, you have chitta, which is the universal mind, and then you have the power that will be molded by chitta and fall under the law, and then you have this preservative energy called love, right, that preserves. Because love is an energy that preserves everything. It preserves everything. If you love something, what do you do with it? You care for it. You put it aside. You dust it off. You make sure that it doesn't age as quick, right? You try to preserve it because you love that thing. And that's the true energy. That's the true meaning of love, is preservation, okay? So now that this has been established, you have a framework of karma, right? Of how things will move throughout the universe, throughout creation. Then comes the Mahabhutas. The Mahabhutas is the cosmic elements of the universe. Akasa, which is etheric sound. You go right back to sound again, because sound does what? What does sound do? It's consciousness. It carries what? It carries a pattern in which things should operate in, right? Everything gives a sound. Everything gives a sound. Everything in creation. Now scientists know that now. They know that everything emits a sound and it has a signature to it. The thousands of years ago, the Hindus say 90,000 years ago, this was written down, that akasa is this etheric sound, okay? Etheric sound. And it is the carrying agent for all the elements, okay? Now, because it's etheric sound, it creates space. And that's how it becomes the carrying agent. Everything, all the other elements is wrapped up in akasa. Then you have vayu, which is etheric air, right? And that is a energy source, because we use air to do what on the ocean? Huh? To sail. When we get in a plane, it's called airplane, because why? We use air to generate lift and forward motion. Okay? So in the ancient times, they understood that. They understood that. And they attributed air to locomotion. Okay? Then you have TJs. TJs is what? Is fire or Agni, right? And it's light also, okay, which is another cosmic element. It's an etheric type substance that stands behind light, fire, heat. It is that energy that stands behind that, okay? Then you have apas, which is a liquid etheric substance or element. And that is, of course, any type of form of liquid, whether it's water or whatever. Is that the etheric energy called, or etheric element called apas is there. Then you have, I always make mistakes with this, what is it called? Impurity, which is solid. It's a solid, it's etheric solid energy formation, which is looked at as something solid in space, in the universe, in the galaxy, in the solar system. Everything rose up to this. All of these, you cannot find one by itself. They are always there as one unit. So for every object you find, even in liquid water, you find solids, right? In air, you find solids, right?
That's basically the chart of the elements, right?
This basically, yeah, the periodical chart. Because when you look at the periodical chart, only thing they do is they break it up into what? Into gases, liquids, and solids. All right? And now they of course, they realized this many years ago that there's a sound. There's this sound to it. There's a vibration to everything. Okay? And then these Mahabhutas, they move from a galactic state to a solar level, and they come through our sun. Our sun is recognized as a Mahabindu, right? And in fact, it's called the Vishnu Mahabindu. The sun is, okay? So the sun then they move, the sun is a living, breathing entity. In fact, it's a God. It's just a creative God that rules and give life to this solar system, okay? In fact, most of the Bibles, when they spoke of God, they spoke of the sun. A lot of people don't like to hear that, but that's what they were speaking of. When they spoke of Jehovah, they spoke of the galaxy, because the galaxy is Jehovah. The sun is God. Okay? So the sun combines and pulls on all these elements, on all these forms of Shakti. In other words, it pulls on the Shiva, the Vak, the Nata, the Shakti, the principles of Shakti, the Nani, the Chitta, the prana, the Adana or love, Akasa, Vayu, Tijas, Apas, Pariti, Mahabindus, the modified Nata, the auric fields. It pulls on the energy that makes up all of these things, and it pushes it out to the earth. And then when it goes to the earth modifies it one more time, along with the moon. The moon modifies it as well. All right, and then from there, our auric bodies are made. That's how the soul pulls on this modified Shakti power and forms the body that we're currently in. Now, our auric body lasts us throughout all our reincarnations on this earth. If we are reincarnated 1,000,000 times, our auric body is with us. It never changes, you know. It responds to us better, but it doesn't go to nothingness and come back again. The auric body is the thing that carries all the other bodies. In fact, in the Theosophical Society, they call it the auric unit, all right? And they say this auric body stays with us throughout all our incarnations until we get to a point of ascension. When we get to a point of ascension, the auric body is pulled within the arisen body, and it becomes a part of the inner workings, because the risen body no longer have all the impurities that the astral body had, that the physical body had, that the etheric body had, or the mental bodies. It doesn't have those impurities because it's been purified. And the auric body has to be purified in order to pull in. Also, when we go back to, who heard of the Sutras of Patanjali? You heard of Sutras of Patanjali? Sutras of Patanjali tells us what? It tells us all the energy that we need is where? Within. It's within the auric body. All the energies. Huh?
Is that what we call the soul?
No, the auric body is the body of the soul. It's the body of the soul. See? Because the soul is what? The soul is the body of the spirit, which is what? The divine spark of God. Right? So the soul is above all of this. The soul is,
It's connected to God.
It's connected to the God, to the divine spark. But it manages all of this because it was given a directive to do what? To involve a part of itself in order to gain experience. When you go back to the ancient Hindu teachings, it tells you that. The Torah tells you that. The Buddhist teachings tell you that it was given a directive to do what? To gain experience in the manifested world. Okay? Even the whole story of Adam and Eve kind of tells you that. Because why? They were at this elevated level, and then they had to go down and gain experience, all right, in the manifested world, in this gross manifested world. So the auric body is that body that carries us from life to life to life to life. Now, what we have to do, we have to cleanse the nadis, the mental bodies, which will turn around and cleanse the etheric bodies and the astral bodies and the physical body, to allow us to raise our consciousness, to a higher level. And at that point, then we can begin to experience higher levels of meditation, true meditation, and higher levels of consciousness, until the point where we move to the level where the great masters are, and the level where Jesus ascended. He broke down the body and rebuilt the body as a risen body, as an ascended body. And now he can live in that body for thousands upon thousands of years, because that type of body doesn't age, because it pulls on the great cosmic energy of the universe. See? But the way our bodies are now, and living the way we are, we don't pull on that. If you go back to the Tantra teachings, the mystic Tantra teachings, and the secret Upanishads, which was translated by Rama Prasad back in the 1800s, in his book, Nature Finer Forces. He stated that, in one of the translations, it stated that the Adamic man, right, his base of the spine was at the heart chakra. So what does that tell us? That tells us the impurities that we suffer through, they didn't have. They didn't have those type of impurities. So they were above that. They lived on the higher realms. Go back to that. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Open up those files again. Let's see. To the Shakti one. Where is that? I think it's in here. The last one. Turn. I think we have a chart of the impurity traits. Thought we had a chart there. We don't have a chart there?
Not with the impurity.
Okay, I thought we did. Go to the next one. Is it there? It's not there?
No, it's just one page.
It's one page. And the next one? No. Okay. Thought we did. Well, from the base, these three chakras are the lower chakras. And in these three chakras, they name 20 impurities, right? That we have to, that we actually have to conquer, all right? And they are desire, anger, greed, and delusion in the first chakra, in the base chakra. There's four impurities there, or named impurities at least. You found it? And in the sex chakra, there's 6. Yeah. In the sex chakra, there's 6.
You have it open?
Yeah. Which is lust, passion, jealousy. Go ahead and do it. Craving, attachment, pride, and delusion. See if he can get it up so you can see it. It was already open. You seen it? Huh? No, not here.
This one, right?
No, that's not it. Let me see. You see it there?
Yeah, I did. Number 5?
That's it?
No, number 5.
Oh, shit. So you have these impurities, and that's what all the yogas are about. All the yogas are about purifying the mind and body. The word yoga means what? Everybody know what the word yoga means?
Yoke.
Union with God. Simple meaning. You know, or union with the absolute. Union with the all in all. All yoga teaches you to purify your mind and your body, or bodies. So when we talk about that, we're talking about We're talking about, if you look at every system, Nani Yoga teaches you what? Teaches you wisdom. It gives you the mysteries of the of the universe. Bhatha Yoga teaches you what? Bhatha Yoga teaches you what? Bhatha Yoga teaches you devotion, right? Devotion to God. If you are devoted to God, you're devoted to everyone. You know, everyone who follows the law, you're devoted to them, right? And then what does you have Bhatha Yoga, you have Raja Yoga, Bhatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga teaches you the what? The physical well-being, right? Right? Then you have Raja Yoga. Raja Yoga teaches you mental development, right? It teaches you to mentally adjust yourself so that you can receive the higher knowledge of God, okay? You have pranayama. What does pranayama do? Pranayama teaches you to cleanse the nadis. That's all pranayama teaches you, really. It's a breath technique, and this is what? You have Pingala and Ida. Pingala and Ida are nadis. And you have 242,000 nadi pathways within the body. And through proper breath control, it teaches you to cleanse those nadis. Because you flush the body out with physical prana, with which is oxygen, you know, oxygen mixed with nitrogen, right? And then you have the subtle pranas, the 5 major pranas that I told you about. And then you have a mental type energy, because Ida is a mental flow of energy, right? So you have that. All the yogas teaches you that. All the yogas. Now within Raja Yoga, going back to Raja Yoga, there's 8 limbs to Raja Yoga, which is the king or the royal yoga, because it intertwines with all yogas. Raja Yoga is a part of Nani Yoga, of Bhatha Yoga, of Kama Yoga, of Pranayama, because Pranayama is a system, of Kriya Yoga, of Kundalini Yoga, Layer Yoga. All of that is a part of Raja Yoga, okay? So, but these are the impurities that help contaminate our auric fields, our mental bodies. And what happened, you constantly have this energy that goes in and out of each chakra. Each chakra intakes energy and push energy out. And when I say energy, I say mental energy too, right? It's not only physical, it's not only vital energy, but it's a mental energy too. It's a sound vibration as well, all right? And it's a mode of motion. That's what the Tavic rays are really. The Tavic rays is actually a pattern, right? Or mode of motion. That's what the Tavic rays really is. Because when energy moves out from point A to point B, it creates a particular motion or pattern. And when it creates that motion or pattern, you have what? You have a second or third thing. The mode of motion of the Tavic rays going through each chakra, right, created the realms of existence. This physical realm is a result of all those energies that we talked about being compressed in the chakra, coming out and influencing the aura And the combination of all our auric bodies along with the earth auric bodies created the different planes of existence that we in. And that's what happens. If you begin to cleanse your aura and think in a certain way, act in a certain way, live in a certain way, only certain people can come into your presence. If you've been in this field for many years, you will notice that. Certain bad elements cannot stay in your presence when you elevate your thoughts. They can't find themselves there. It's like when they come to you, they're actually repelled. They can't deal with you. Because why? Because you live on a whole different realm of existence. You know, so certain criminal elements, certain lifestyles cannot be in your presence. Okay? So that's the auric, when you think about the auric field, think about the aura, not just colors and everything. The auric body is the body that you actually move from life to life in. And it's these layers of magnetic field that the consciousness of the soul, so-called, because the soul don't have a consciousness, but the consciousness that the soul developed is actually entrapped in this aura. And that's you. And that's how you move from one life to the next life to the next life. You live here on the physical realm for a while. You die, then you go to an astral realm or maybe even a higher etheric realm, right? And you live there for a while. You die from there, and you're reborn on the physical plane again to live out a different experience. All right, and it's all based on your karma. Okay, it's all based on your karma. Now, I talked about samskaras. Everybody know what samskaras is? Samskaras is, let's say you have a thought. That thought is a very deep thought, or even if it's not a deep thought, it actually scars your aura. Right? Every thought and action that you do throughout the day, it impresses your aura. It creates a karmic pattern. It adds to your karmic pattern, in other words, that you have to work out. Now, it can add good or it can add bad. Okay? So if you do more good actions throughout the day, then you just help yourself move forward in a good way for the future. If you did a lot of bad stuff, then you're going to involve. You're not going to evolve, you're going to involve. And that's what samskaras are. And these samskaras, you create them, and they embed themselves in your aura as seeds. And in the future, when the time is right and you created the right mental and physical condition, those samskaras come forth again and impress you and add to the present situation. In other words, the best way to pull up a samskara, and I tell everybody this, is play a song or some music from in the past that you were familiar with, whether it was a good time or a bad time or whatever, and watch and see what happened to you. You know, immediately the music started playing, and if it was a good time, then you get happy because it takes you back to those good memories and that good situation. If you play a song where somebody died or you broke up, you'll find yourself in tears. You know, another way is when you watch television or a movie and you can relate to a scene, right? And somehow it pulls up those ancient samskaras or recent samskaras. And you find yourself either laughing or crying, okay? So that's what the samskaras are. And we have hundreds of thousands maybe millions of samskaras embedded in our aura. Because why? We do not have control over the modifications of our aura. Okay? Raja Yoga teaches you to stop the modifications. Okay? In other words, your aura, when someone look at your aura, they see all these wonderful colors. Oh, you got beautiful colors. You know, most of them don't know what they're talking about. But you got these beautiful colors. And those beautiful colors, a lot of them are contamination. They might be beautiful. You know, they may have a glow to it and all that, but they also might be heavily contaminated from your own thoughts and actions of present life and past life, right? And that's the thing that's holding you back and having you to be reborn over and over and over again. Don't take my word for it. Go back and actually read the ancient teachings. It tells you that clear. But a lot of people don't like to talk about this stuff because it's not popular and, you know, it's not going to bring in the dollars. So the thing about it is that that's what happens. We have to cleanse our aura of these negative thoughts and negative actions that we created in the past and replace them with good samskaras. See? If we had good samskaras and good auras, we would never die. Our physical body would last until we get tired of it and say, okay, I need a new body. So let's go build a new body and jump into that. But it's not happening because it's our own thoughts and actions that actually deteriorate our bodies, our mind and bodies. And then we have to exit, go live on the astral or etheric plane for a while until the right coming time that we can come back to this earth, to the physical plane of this earth. And then we start all over again. So that's the way it works. So that's what a samskara is. And a lot of samskaras, unfortunately, is these 20 impurity traits. You know, when we can move our consciousness up to the heart chakra and above, those traits can't exist as much. Okay? You still have some, but they don't exist as much. Not in compound the way they do in the lower chakras. Now, the reason why I say that is that our consciousness is within the chakras, not within the brain. The brain is only a relay type system. You know, it's a receiving system and relays out. Our consciousness actually resides in our major chakras. Okay? Now that may sound strange, right? But it's actually not strange. I give you a brief explanation of that. You have a nati called the Ida nati, right? And you have one called the Pingala nati. The Ida nati is a mental flow of energy. Do we have that on there? What?
Right-hand side.
Okay. And the Pingala nati is a vital flow of energies. We have it.
We might go more into detail on this one, I'm not sure. You break it up there by Shoshone as well.
Okay. Where is it at? Here?
In the diagram in the center,
Yeah, we have Ida and Pingala. See how Ida, Pingala is the red? Can everybody see that? And the blue blue is Ida and the red is Pingala. And what you have them intersect at the chakras, okay? When that flow of energy coming from the base of the spine, because what happens, the soul takes this raw Shakti power in its complete form and push it down Sushumna, right? And when it gets down to the base of the spine, the base of the spine is a perfect location to bring about basic consciousness. So when the energy gets there, a 3.5 knot is formed, and it locks the door to Sushumna, and it splits the energy. It splits the Shakti energy, and it's called, in ancient teaching, they say the whole becomes the knot hole, right? And then it forms Ida and Pingala, right? And it reveals Sushumna, because Sushumna is the doorway, and it is the Shiva almost within the body, because it's still. It has full potential within Sushumna. So what happens is that when the energy is split, it begins to search out to balance itself. So that's what causes the energy to go back up, crisscrossing across every chakra. And when it does that, it creates the 242 pathways, the 242,000 pathways of the nadis. Okay? Now what does that cause? Inside the chakra, you have an intersection of these nadis that comes. When they intersect 21 times, right? There's a major chakra there. This is not how the chakra forms, but it identifies the chakra because the chakra is already there. But what happens here is that this becomes a center of consciousness. It becomes a center of consciousness. So that's how your chakras, that's how you have consciousness. When it intersects 14 times, you have a minor chakra. When it intersects 7 times, you have a minute chakra. But all of them are centers of consciousness, yeah?
So where do the tattvas come into play? Do they go through the nadis, or are they the chakra itself?
No, they come through the nadis from the sun, from the moon, and from the earth. So in other words, the 360 Tavic rays embeds the earth. Some of them are reflected off the moon, and some of them go down into the earth and then come back out and enter and exit the chakras. And the ones that come through the moon, they come in and they enter and exit this chakra and this chakra, okay? The moon is the mental, it creates the mental worlds for us. Okay? That's why the moon normally comes up at nighttime, and we fall into this sleep, and we go out into our mental bodies or astral bodies and do something good or stupid, every single night. But the energies that come from the sun, they come through the heart chakra and the solar plexus chakra, the Tavic rays. And then the energies that formulate in the base of the spine and the sex center comes, they create a pattern that attracts or builds the Tavic rays of the earth. Okay, that's why they call the pelvic region the bony region or the earth-like region. You have more bone mass here in the pelvic regions than anywhere else in the body. Okay? So that's why it's considered earth. And then, of course, in the sex center, you have, in that region, you have what? Your bladder, right? You have the kidneys right above that. You have the and then you have the opening of the large intestines, okay, and the liver. Yeah, well, the liver is shared with the solar plexus as well. But the liver is the largest organ in the body. But all of this makes sense when you go back to the ancient teachings and you plot this and look at it for what it was. And this is how the yogis actually brought about control over their mind and body. This is how they did this. They used this mystic science, which is not given out as much, and when someone do give it out, very few people pay attention, But that's where the consciousness is formed. The consciousness is formed within the chakra. So, what time is it? Okay. Any questions? Yeah, the bodies, yeah. The physical body, the astral body, the etheric body, the mental body, all the bodies.
So they looked at the nadis and said, okay, depending on the particular function of the psychic center, and they saw how the organs correspond to that. Is it the same way?
Well, the auras are, the organs are built from everything above. In other words, you understand that, right? Yeah. The organs are built on the flow of energy. That's the only way they can amass that type of energy, because they had to be, it's just like if you're building a house. You're building a house, you create the infrastructure. If those pipes, if the sewer line and the water line is not configured in a certain way, then, and even the electricity, if it's not configured a certain way, then the house can't stand. It can't function. You have to bring the water in at a certain level, and then when the wastewater have to go out, with the gravitational pull on it. Other than that, it'll settle. And then also you got to have a stem up, a drain stem, so that the water flow. If you don't open up that drain at the roof, the water's not gonna flow out. The same thing with electricity. If you don't ground that house, the electricity won't flow. The electrons will not flow through the wires. So you have to create the infrastructure. The auric body, the mental body, the etheric body, the astral body is that infrastructure for the physical body. Okay? So that's why you have that flow of energy there. Okay? It have to run in a certain way in order to in order for the physical body to look a certain way and function in a certain way. So, yeah, so that's why I say bodies. Okay?
Do each of the bodies have a separate configuration, or just one configuration and all the bodies are tapped into it in their respective levels?
Yeah, the nadis are etheric. You understand, right? And then the physical body copies the configuration of the nadis with its what? Which is arteries and veins, right? And circulatory system. Okay? So it's it copies it. It's just a copy of it. Okay, but it's still working off of the patterns of the more etheric and astral. Okay? Because the mental body, the auric body is formed first, right? And within the auric body, the energy, the whole chakra system is connected, right? And then that creates the mental body, right? And then from there, the etheric body can come about, which is from the higher chakras, right? It takes residence, right? And then the astral body comes about, and it takes residence in the lower chakras, and then you can bring about the physical body. Okay, so that's the way that works. Now, understand that you have many astral bodies. I don't want to confuse you, but you have many astral bodies, and you have many etheric bodies, and you have many mental bodies. And when I say that, they can take form and shape depending on the energy configuration from the mental and auric bodies as needed. You understand? So that's the slight difference from the physical body. Although the physical body takes on many shapes from birth to death, it takes on many different shapes. But the astral body and the etheric bodies and the mental bodies can take on shapes at a moment's notice, depending on how much power, mental power and vital power you can give it. Okay? But so therefore the copied nervous and bone structure and all of that is totally different from the physical body of the astral body. And the same thing with the etheric body. The bone structure, nervous, the artery, all that is totally different from the astral and the physical. Okay? But it does exist. Okay? But the infrastructure of all of that is the original nadis within the auric structure. Okay? So any other questions? Any questions from online? I know it was compacted. I gave too much information probably.
Yeah, we need to
So,
read this material many times.
yeah.
It's a lot.
So, but we actually behind in this course. We were supposed to be further along. But if there's no other questions, then we could probably close out with a prayer. Next week, we'll go more into the handouts on the, you all heard of Mudra Yoga?
Yes.
Okay. So, huh? So I will go more into those handouts.
The mudras?
Yeah. I give you the secret science behind that as well. And it's very interesting. Okay. So Let us close out with a prayer. And we do a mudra for the prayer as well.